My name is Allan Guggenbühl. I'm a psychologist, psychotherapist. I work in different areas. I do family therapy, individual therapy, psychoanalysis, but I'm also a writer. My speech comes out of my work because I realize, especially in families, but also in companies, there's sometimes topics which are tabooed. Nobody talks about, nobody wants to mention it, but they still have a massive influence on the psychology, on the psychodynamics, and the well-being of families. And these are topics which usually originate from history, something which happened years ago maybe, or something which is still in the family, an issue which is still very much present. And what I'll talk about is, first of all, how this happens. I call them ghosts, because they're here, but they're not here at the same time, and how we can approach these ghosts. This can be a tremendous problem, lead to suffering. My aim is actually to encourage people to start talking about it, identifying them, without kind of devaluing themselves or the surrounding. I think my speech will be well received if a third of the audience is slightly irritated. What the hell is he saying? A third agrees, and maybe a third thinks, no, I don't agree. So I don't expect the whole audience to agree, because when the whole audience agrees, then you're actually superficial probably. Then you say something already everybody knows. So what I want to my goal is to give food for thought, that they start to reflect. They don't have to agree with me, but if they start to reflect, that's actually my goal. I'm a psychologist by coincidence. So I had many different jobs, and before being a psychologist, I was a guitarist, and I did training with Maestro Manuel Lopez Ramos in Mexico, and actually he taught me a lot of things, apart from the music of course. He taught me discipline and just to follow a certain goal, and these goals were then in the musical area, like playing the sonata classica, playing it from all the three parts and just focusing on that only. And I think that's what I learned then, because he was a great fellow, he was very intelligent, and he inspired me actually, Also it was Mexico, so it was live there, and it was a chaotic society, and actually to live in a chaotic surrounding but still be very focused, that was a big challenge. One book I just finished now is an interesting book. It's called Fake Heroes by Otto English. And he actually writes about the tendencies of society to make someone a hero, to make someone an icon. But if you look at him more closely, you realize he's actually the qualities one attributes to him or her are false. For instance, Mother Teresa apparently, who cheated on the money of the orphanage or the place she had in Calcutta. So that was an example, or Che Guevara. So that was a very interesting book. It focused actually on the actual personalities of these people which we all adore. In some ways it was a bit an eye-opener. He was very erudite, he was very well written and well researched, so that was an interesting book. I don't have a lot of routines and ritual, but of course I'm Swiss-Scottish, and I have one way of unwinding. That's when I'm alone. I usually unwind also with friends or family. One way is to take a wee dram. That means take a little bit of whiskey and drink it very slowly, taking time, and then start contemplating about the day. So this is something Highland Park is one of the whiskey I enjoy a lot, but I have a large whiskey collection. This is actually my Scottish side. Then I think about Scotland, and I think about another area, I think about non-urban life. Often I spend a lot of time in Scotland, in the Highlands. So this is actually the way of unwinding.